What's up, everybody? This is Essentials
Podcast
with Stevie and Whitney Flockhart. This is the intro episode.
Yeah.
So it's not officially episode 1 yet, but we did want to welcome everybody. We wanted to introduce ourselves. Who are we? Why are we doing it? Absolutely. A lot of people have asked. Actually, a lot of people haven't asked. We want to we want to let everyone who would ask know, why are you doing a podcast? Why are we doing a podcast, Whit?
Well, we're doing a podcast because, both you and I are in full-time ministry, and we are consistently and constantly meeting with people, and they are asking for our help, asking for advice and direction for their lives. And we just thought this was a good platform to be able to speak to the masses, if you will.
Sure. And so, and again, it's probably an every week thing where someone says, can you meet with us? We've got a great staff. I'm the lead pastor of 901 Church in the 901 West Tennessee, Memphis area, and full-time ministry. And so a growing church with a great staff who can continue to meet and help people and disciple people. But a lot of people do want to sit down with you. And so this is just a great opportunity for us to share some wisdom, share some things that we've been through. We by no means have it all figured out.
Absolutely not.
We've come a long way, no doubt about it. And we have been through some hail. And so, and that's okay to say in the context of hail in a podcast like that. And so, because we have. And
we want to have some fun.
Absolutely.
This is just fun.
And so we've been through some stuff. We've seen some people go through some things that we've been able to speak into. People have spoken to our lives.
Right.
But this is just going to help people. And so hopefully speak some truth into some lives. But to get to know us a little bit, we've been married for coming up on 12 years. I said 11 years earlier. I know how long we've been married, but I said 11 years.
It's fine.
We were talking earlier.
I'm fine.
And I think that COVID messed me up. That's why I said that. But I know that we got married August 7th, 2010.
Very
and
good.
so it's been amazing. It's been great. And so coming up on 12 years.
We've got 3 kids.
3 kids. Finn is 10. Judah is 8.
And Isla is 7.
While you're listening to this, they are. And so married, tell them, you start how we met. This is a fun story, by the way. This will not be boring
how we
to
met.
You. You'll
this
love
is going to be a blockbuster one day, I feel like.
They should make a movie out of it.
For sure.
Yep.
I was in college, going to school, a small private school in Missouri at the time, but I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was home on winter break. I was currently dating somebody back at school. Seriously.
Yes,
we had been dating for 2 years.
You loved him, right?
Yeah, I loved him.
What is love?
What is love?
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Podcast 4. What is love?
Anyway, so I was home on winter break. And I'm just at my parents' house, vibing, eating, playing video games, stuff like that. You can jump in and talk about where you were at that moment.
I was leading worship at a church. Shout out to Sean Lovejoy. At the time, he was the pastor of Mountain Lake Church, Cumming, Georgia. He and Trish loved them. But I was leading worship there, but I'd moved like an hour away. And so we had a really early call time that we had to be at the church. And so I'm up at like 3:30 a.m. on Saturdays or Sunday mornings, and your little sister was over at my house hanging with Kirby, and she hears me talk to my friend Craig McClure, who, shout out to him, who is so gracious and was going to let me stay at his apartment until he said, everything's good, I'm on the way. As long as you're not allergic to cats, you can stay over, or as long as you're cool with cats. I said, bro, I'm allergic to cats, and I hate cats.
Cool with cats?
Yeah. And as long as you're cool with cats, because I love cats. And he was a cat lady, but he was a 26-year-old man in an apartment. But so I told him, man, I'm allergic and I can't. But again, even all this is such a cool God thing. Because, and I know I said I hate cats, so don't report me. I don't hate cats. I just wish they would stop crawling. They're just gross.
They just have an attitude that's not
so anyways,
pet-like.
and so
it's weird.
Give me a little puppy dog and let it wag its tail and all that stuff. But no cats. But Molly hears me say that. She says, why don't you stay at our house? I said, no, thank you. I don't know your family. I've never met your family.
Thank you. I don't know you.
Yeah. And so, but she comes like an hour later. She's like, hey, I talked to my mom and she said, come stay at our house. So I went over to the house and that was the night. I walked in. The music started playing. I walk in and I heard that. You didn't hear that yet.
No, I really didn't.
I tell the story like I see the most beautiful person I've ever laid my eyes on, and I'm being for real about that. And I still feel that way, by the way. But like, I walk in and I hear, I think we are about to make eye contact. Whitney's going to look at me, who I don't know her name yet, but she's going to look at me. Do you remember what you were doing when we met?
Yeah, 100%. I was actually jamming out on expert mode on Guitar Hero Legends of Rock.
Did you just lie to everyone? Or you
No,
were
I did
on
not.
expert? Okay.
I can play that song when you were young. I could do it right now with my memory on my
One
fingers.
week we're going to do a podcast. All we're going to do is play Guitar Hero. I
would
can't
think
do it.
that's fantastic.
But she's playing expert mode, allegedly, Guitar Hero. I walk up and I said, hey, what's up? I'm Stevie. And she turns to me and I'm waiting for this moment. And she just says, hey, what's up? And she doesn't say her name. She just turns around.
But I'm super annoyed that you would interrupt my
I thought we were about to have a
game.
moment and fall in love. I thought you were going to put down the guitar and we were going to sail off into the sunset.
Well.
And she didn't have the time of day for me. And it's serious. And so we hung out that night a little bit. The whole family's there. People went to bed and it ended up being me, Whitney, and her mom,
and my
in
mom.
the piano room, we called it. A lot of love in the
He
piano, a lot of
definitely
memories.
tried to tell me that he played piano.
I played piano. I just wasn't good at piano.
No. And here's the thing that he did not know. He didn't know that my mom and I actually play piano. My mom is obviously
Guys, I'm
way
laying it
better
on.
than me, but I play. So he turns around and tries to play this song.
That I wrote, by the way.
That he wrote,
Yeah.
but he couldn't find the notes, and he kept saying, oh, wait, no, this is it. No, that's it. No. And my mom and I are just looking at each other like, who is this person who thinks he can play keys?
And so for the record, I can kind of jam with my right hand a little bit. And I can play the Greatest Showman soundtrack. Can I?
Sure.
Yes, thank you. And so I did not play piano very well that night, but I was just laying it on. I led worship at the church the next day. I came back because I forgot my cell phone charger.
Right.
Still to this day, she asked, did you really forget? Her mom and dad asked, did you really? I really did forget because God is good and he's so sovereign. He just was planning this all out. So I forgot my cell phone charger. I went back over, got my cell phone. We started hanging out that afternoon, that night. Your mom said, are you hungry? Why don't you stay for lunch? We didn't know that your mom was working it either, right?
Yeah,
because
moms are crazy.
2 years prior,
it was 2 years before that. Yeah.
I led worship at a church that her parents were at, and her mom called her and said, I just met or just heard.
Yeah, this is just a side story, but I'm at school in Missouri. My mom calls me and she says, I just met your
2 years before we
future
met.
husband. And I'm like, what the heck, Mom? That doesn't even make sense. I'm not even living there right now. Like, what are you doing? Fast forward 2 years, and me and this guy are hanging out.
That's what I was trying to play piano for, so.
Moms know. If your mom's
do.
telling you something, listen to her because she knows.
Yeah, that's a shout out to moms. Thank you, moms. We love you.
Rule.
Love you, Mom. And love you, Patty Mama. I've never called her that.
That's cute.
Patty Mama. That's my new thing for my mother-in-law. Patty Mama. Patty cakes, or I call her. But so we hang out that next week, and then you go back to school.
Yeah.
And it should be over. Fellas, don't ever let it be over.
Right.
And so she
It ain't over till
it
it's
ain't over till that song is sung. But
okay, so I get in my car and drive 12 hours to school, and
we talked the whole time.
Stevie and I talk the whole way. I'm talking like, you remember when you were dating somebody and those phone chats were the best ever? Like now I can't even imagine talking on the phone to somebody for 12 hours. But
I could talk to you on the phone for 12 hours.
you could
That's
not.
what I want to
but
do
that's just
tonight.
what you do when you're dating.
No, I
you
could.
talk on the phone.
Yes, it's
I
true.
don't know how it's
and even
different.
before FaceTime.
Yeah.
Before a little filtery, snappy, chatty.
Yeah,
what's
nothing. It's
up?
just
This
good
is just
old-fashioned
good
phone
old-fashioned
conversation.
cellular device using
on my
mobile.
Motorola. Yeah, it was great.
Old-fashioned.
So we talked for 12 hours, and you can get to know somebody through 12 hours of conversation.
Yeah, and so I ask, because you went to school what was Missouri?
Southwest Baptist
Southwest, but
University.
what city?
Bolivar, Missouri.
Bolivar. Shout out to Bolivar. We love you. We remember you. And so you're in Springfield, which is like 30 or 40 minutes away from Bolivar. And she's getting off the phone, and I ask, and guys, let me add this. While we're hanging out on that Sunday afternoon where her mom asked me to go to lunch or have lunch with them, Whitney walks out of the room and her mom looks at me and she's like, oh my goodness, this is so great. This is perfect. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you and Whitney. She goes, I just wish this was 6 months ago. And I said, why? And she said, Whitney's boyfriend just asked Terry, that's Whitney's dad, just asked Terry his blessing to propose.
Right.
And so now fast forward, we've been hanging for the week. And so I said, what happens if you get back to school and Tom, and we love Tom. I mean, he's the man. And so what if Tom proposes to you? And you said...
I said, I would say, yeah. I mean, there's
I'm
no
like, what
reason.
the heck? Like, we just talked for 12 hours.
12 hours versus 2 years. Like, I'm going with my...
I was like, what about my piano song?
I was like, you can't play keys, so no.
1 week, I'm just going to play keys for everyone. But
you should.
And so we get off the phone. And guys, you got to know this. I'm not in love with her. I mean, we've had a week of been amazing and exciting, but I mean, it was just a cool. I mean, we vibed the whole week, and that was
vibe before vibing was a thing.
Yes, we were vibing before vibing was vibing, and so she got off the phone, and I kid you not, about an hour later. So she's 30 minutes from school. About an hour later, my little sister Kirby comes downstairs. And she says, guess who just got engaged? Whitney Johnson.
Yeah, so I had pulled up to my apartment, just got off the phone with them, really just battling this in my mind. Like, what kind of conversation did I just have for 12 hours with this guy I hardly know? I'm in this other relationship, just is so conflicting in my head. I get up to my apartment and there my boyfriend is, like, on his knee with a ring, roses everywhere. And it was just like, I just could not believe it. So I said yes. I said yes, but it felt weird. It felt wrong.
Why did you say yes? It makes sense, but tell the people why.
I had no reason not to at that point.
True, right.
Other than I just had this really cool conversation 12 hours long with this other dude.
It was a little more for me than that, but thank you. But no, but like I've always said, it's like Sweet Home Alabama. Like Sweet Home Alabama, both guys are like
good,
great, and I'm not calling myself great, but like, it's like you could choose.
Are you Patrick Dempsey or the other guy?
I don't know. I'd take either one. I would like to make lightning bolt jars at the beach, but whatever. But so she gets engaged, and this is when you look back because everything is 2020 in hindsight. But she gets engaged, and 3 hours later, she calls me on the phone.
Yeah, so we get back from our date after celebrating our engagement, and my thoughts are everywhere. I've got a pit in my stomach. I can't make sense of it, and so I just call the guy that I just spent 12 hours talking to on the phone, not for any other reason, but just to call and talk to. And
I think there was a reason. You knew deep
maybe
down
deep
inside.
Down I did.
That's the one for me.
But I was afraid of that.
Yep. So she left school. She comes home.
So make a little bit more sense of that. I was so distraught. I'm 12 hours from home. Obviously no family anywhere near me. And I call my parents. I'm like, hey, what do you guys think about me moving home this semester? I can't deal with this engagement. I'm just not sure what to do. Can I just take a semester off, move home, and deal with things back in Atlanta? They said, sure. My dad drives up, helps me move stuff out of my apartment. And so, I'm home now.
She gets home and she tells me, I don't want anything to do with you. I need to pray. She didn't say it like that, but she said, don't call me, don't text me.
I said, you messed up my engagement. You are the reason that I'm feeling this way.
And I am no home wrecker for the record. But when God is working, God is working,
Even when you don't see it.
Yeah, even when you don't see it, he's working. And so you text me and said, don't call me, don't text me. I need to take the next semester, next few, and just pray and wonder and seek counsel. And I text you back. I'll never forget.
Yep, I remember
said,
it.
You say it.
Just give me 5 minutes.
Just give me 5 minutes. I still say to this day, just give me 5 minutes.
He literally does. So I was like, okay, what's 5 minutes?
So I picked you up We went to the Starbucks parking lot.
It was about 10 at night at that point.
10 at night. We held hands. We kissed. That's when the music played.
Yeah.
And may I just say for the record, we paraphrase this whole story because it could be a movie. That next day, she sent the ring back, right? Mm-hmm. Called it off.
Yep.
And we didn't start dating right away, because you still wanted to figure out some things.
Because that looks weird.
Yeah, but
we knew.
Here we are. 14 years later?
14
years later, 3 kids, still in
Madly
love.
in love.
Yeah. Still not making babies, because that's all done. But
yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah, but it's been great. And so again, that's just, we wanted to give you our story to let you know who in the world we are. Mm-hmm. Why would you listen to us? That's been 14 years. But man, I asked how we met, and that turned into a whole shenanigan.
I don't care.
There.
I love sharing that.
No, I love it. And so we hope we can speak into your life. We hope we can help you. We're going to look at some hard questions. We're going to focus on some of life's toughest questions. Mm-hmm. Maybe the why am I here? What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? We might get into a little bit of that
but
philosophy
essential things that you deal with in your life.
100%. And relationships, leadership, the essentials of being married, the essentials of parenting, the essentials of your mental health, your emotional health. We want to talk about your physical health a lot. That's important to us.
We're really passionate about our health and our bodies and what we put in and stuff like that.
Sure. And so it's going to be exciting, but that's a little bit about us. We cannot wait to see you truly on episode 1 coming up, I believe right after this one. This is just the intro episode. And so join us right away for episode 1 of Essentials with Stevie and Whitney Flockhart. Oh, we should do that every time. Okay. Let's do it again. Stevie and Whitney Flockhart. There we go.